I am the pop culture Friar, and challenged by last week's podcast, I went and trawled through my Netflix watch list and came upon Big Trouble in Little China. It was released in 1986, starring Kurt Russell, and was directed by John Carpenter. You might be familiar with John Carpenter's work if you're a fan of the Halloween series or Escape from New York. Kurt Russell plays Jack Burton, who drives the Pork Chop Express, delivering fresh produce to his friend Wang in San Francisco Chinatown. Through a series of events, Jack ends up helping Wang to rescue his fiancée, Miao Xin, from supernatural, immortal Chinese sorcerer Lo Pan, played by James Wong. It is a lot of fun. It doesn't take itself very seriously, but it does ask itself and the audience if what they're seeing is real. What is our perception of reality? Jack, his whole life has been taught that magic isn't real, that Western ideology is right, and suddenly he has to face up with another culture where these things are very real, that these people believe exactly what they talk about. And it's a challenge for Jack, who has to be bold, has to be the white guy saving the day, but then also turns out to be the sidekick through all these comedic events because he finds himself completely out of his depth. It also completely takes that white messiah complex that was prevalent in films at the time, turns it on its head by making Jack more of a sidekick, giving a very strong female presence in the form of Kim Cattrall, who wonderfully overacts just to bring the point across here, and it fits well with all the overacting that it comes with this kung fu homage to Chinese opera and all those elements of kung fu films out of the 70s. If you are a kung fu fan, you'll probably recognize a number of characters out of kung fu films who were around even today. If you watch some of the modern kung fu films, the influence on pop culture that Big Trouble in Little China had is quite immense, considering the fact that it didn't earn much at the box office, only about 11,000 from a $20,000 million budget. So only $11 million out of that, which isn't very much. But it has its own final figures. It has a graphic novel that's just been released. It's also influenced characters within Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which started off as a comic around about that time. And if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you might recognize one of the characters from that series in Big Trouble in Little China. One of the characters here was the inspiration for one of the characters in Mortal Kombat. But I challenge you to go and watch that and find out for yourself. If you haven't seen it and you grew up in the 80s, where have you been? It is a lot of fun. It's just classic Saturday night viewing, just to sit down and switch your brain off. It is classed as a 15, which I feel is a little bit too strict, but the features and the supernatural features could still be quite scary for younger viewers. So by all means, please follow the parental guidelines. I am the Pop Culture Friar, and I will see you